Hey, I finished Skywalker Saga on Switch.
Oh yeah, how did it go?
It was fun. It was
Did it finish like the movies?
yes, it did. It did finish like the movies. And it's funny because again, we promised not to talk about The Last Jedi, but it's funny when you get to the Last Jedi levels because it's like nobody's got nothing to do. Like the Canto Bite stuff with Finn and Rose is just like this has got to end. But it was kind of fun to play through because I still have only seen Rise of Skywalker the one time in theaters. I've never rewatched it.
Okay.
And so
Good.
playing through the game, I was kind of like, oh, right, that's what this movie was about. And I forgot a bunch of stuff. But, it was, I've played all the other Star Wars game, like the original, the prequels, the Clone Wars, like even the Force Awakens standalone game. So I played them all. And I thought this did a good job of sort of abridging the stuff that's already been covered while also adding new levels and new features. So I think even if you've watched the other stuff, it's definitely worth playing. Mm-hmm. Do you think you'll ever pick it up?
I think I will. I played the demo, so I did the first I did episode 4 because knowing me, I had to go to the original saga, and it was fun.
I thought about it, but I did go chronological when I played through. I started with episode 1.
Okay,
yeah, I did.
Okay,
yep.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. And there was a lot of fun Ewok Easter eggs, and I was like texting you as they happened.
Those were so great. I was like, "What?
Yeah,
no way!"
There was one that I texted Steve, and it was like, "Oh, that happened during the Ewok Dulox War. That was during the Rise of Skywalker saga, like during the Rise of Skywalker levels."
Which is crazy.
So I was like, "Wow!"
That again, like. That's one thing that comes up in our show. Like, where is the Ewoks set? What
I know.
And we can never quite nail it down, right?
Yeah.
So,
I don't have any complaints. Like I've got everything in free play now, so once I finished it, I unlocked the Leia Jedi version for Rise of Skywalker, where she's like in the training mode with the lightsaber, and just went and like bummed around the Ewok village. So pretty good times. Good times.
It's just like being home.
Yeah.
It would be fun if they did another Ewok show, but made it more of like a teen cartoon show, or like not like a show for 5 to 8-year-olds, but like almost like I guess Teen Titans, right? That's kind of like it's like an age. I mean, that's like an all age almost show, right? If they did one with like the Ewok Duloc War, that would be kind of fun, right?
It would be fun. Yeah, I feel like the Ewoks are ripe for it. I mean, I understand why they thought, oh, we should make an Ewoks cartoon. I don't understand why they made this Ewoks cartoon, but the idea is sound.
We don't know. We don't quite know yet why they changed the show in season 2, because it kind of seemed like they had a good thing going. Although,
it wasn't that great though.
This it wasn't great to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know. This episode, I'm excited to get into this episode because I don't know. I thought we kind of had another good one. This was another good one.
Too. I thought we did too.
Is it possible that we had a 2-parter that was actually pretty good?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I think so.
I'm absolutely surprised.
I know. Let's do it.
All right. Welcome to This Endorian Life, a Star Wars podcast from the Radio Meanwhile Network. My name is Steve Rudd.
I'm Nick Gunning, and we're following the Ewoks from Return of the Jedi to the Ewok TV movies, the 80s cartoon, and beyond.
Today, we are discussing Season 2, Episode 6B, The First Apprentice. This episode originally aired on October 18th, 1986. Woo!
That's right. We're back with a Paul Dini episode. Today's episode was written by Paul Dini, directed by Dale Scott. It was released on VHS as part of the compilation Wicket's Adventures. It was a pretty solid entry, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Here's the thing. I had to go back and see if it was Paul Dini or not.
Yeah, right? I know.
Because I was like, wait a minute, was it that one woman that
Linda
did the last
Wolverton.
episode?
Yeah,
that was so good. And I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, oh, no way. Paul Dini.
He's finding his footing.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about I think the credits were just different then. Like now, it's like every voice that speaks in a cartoon gets a credit on IMDb or like in the credits or something.
True.
Here, it's like there's a bunch of people listed as additional voices, and you don't always know what they're for. Like last time, we had so many different voices popping up, and today, obviously, we have a major guest star. I don't know who voices them, but I'm going to tell you one for our featured cast member. Today we have Richard Devan. So Richard Devan is a credited voice actor in all season 2 episodes, though it never identifies which roles he plays. So I think it's just, all right, we got a different guy. So Richard, here you go. Here's your pages for this week. But
we're gonna find out that he's like the studio janitor or something like that.
So.
When they're like, we need an extra guy. Come on in,
So Richard Devan has a long history in film and television dating back to the 1950s. He was just one of those guys popping up in everything. Wow. He found early success as Jody Barker in the series Yancey Derringer, which was about a cowboy turned secret agent.
Oh,
I know.
That's like an interesting Derringer. What a great name to be named after a gun. It's
Yancey
just like
Derringer.
Max Colt.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Maybe once we finish the Ewoks and then we do that Dukes of Hazzard podcast, we'll settle on Yancey Derringer.
Jeez. You can have all like 12 followers in the entire world. We got the corner on the Dukes of Hazzard podcast.
We just have people asking us to stop. That's it. All the reviews are like, end this.
They just want to, they just follow us to see if we keep posting episodes or not.
Right. They just hate listen.
Oh, good. They're done. All right, sweet.
What are we talking about today, Steve?
Today, we're going to go through the uber detailed plot. Season 2, Episode 6B, The First Apprentice. A stone fortress looms on Endor, and inside is an Ewok wizard named Zarek, who consults his prophecy pool to see if there is a wizard worthy enough to stop him from conquering Endor. The pool reveals Tebow to him, a new apprentice to Logray. He vows to make Tebow his own apprentice and sets off in his magic glider to find him. Did you love that?
I did.
Knew you'd be like,
I did.
Oh,
I loved that glider. Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. Meanwhile, back at the village, Tebow struggles with patience as he must learn simple magic before performing large tricks. He even fails to concentrate enough for simple magic when he shows his friends that he can control flying leaves, like paper airplane leaves. Hiding in the woods, Zarek reveals himself to Tebow and the gang, and we find out he was Logray's first apprentice.
The titular first apprentice.
Yeah, he impresses everyone with his magic skill, and Tebow wants to learn from him. Before Nisa can recall who Zarek is, he puts a spell on her, and she falls asleep. Despite being carried a long distance home and careening through town and crashing into Logray's hut on a cart, Nisa is still asleep. Logray removes the sleeping spell on her and reveals to the gang that Zarek was an impatient apprentice of his that wanted to learn evil magic and even tried taking the Sunstar before he was banished. Logray is distraught that Tebow has joined him. Meanwhile, Zarek attempts to teach Tebow various spells, but unfortunately, they all backfire on himself, frustrating Zarek to the point that he schemes to dispatch him to the realm of spirits. Like he's going to send him there, but, he ain't coming back.
Yeah.
Before he succeeds, Logray and the gang stop him. While Logray and Wicket turn to fight Zarek, Nisa and Latara save Tebow from falling into the abyss. Zarek manages to incapacitate everyone, leaving only Tebow. Tebow utilizes his leaf trick and is able to summon so much concentration that he sends not one, but several leaves to attack Zarek. The flying leaves cause Zarek to stumble back, and he falls into the spirit abyss himself. After all is said and done, Tebow vows to stay away from large tricks. However, he does boast about learning one thing from Zarek, but the gang quickly gags him before he can show them all. Logray laughs hysterically. Roll credits.
A lot of fun Star Wars parallels in here. A lot of maybe the Force being used. But as we were watching this all play out, it sort of feels like I don't know if this is the intention, but it kind of puts Logray in an Obi-Wan Kenobi position, and Zarek in a Vader position, and Tebow in a Luke position.
I don't want to give away my Chihuahua moment, but this one had huge themes from the original trilogy. I thought that was crazy.
I liked that right away. I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah, the whole Apprentice thing just was a nod back to. I mean, that's Star Wars. I mean, just think, in every single Star Wars, there's an apprentice in every Star Wars, you know?
And it was right down to lifting boulders.
Controlling controlling things and having them move. Yeah. And this was probably the most Star Wars episode we've had, because they keep calling it magic.
Yeah.
But we know it as it's the Force.
Yeah, of course. Well, and we saw that once before when Logray did something that we were kind of like, was that the Force? I think that was the Force. But this time, come on now, it is.
Yep.
I thought that was super cool. I liked Zarek's look too.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of made him, like last week we were joking about it was going to be Morag, which would have been cool. But
yeah, that would have been very cool. Yeah,
it would have. Like they kind of aged him up a little bit, so he looked on the same level as like the parents, as Shadow and stuff.
Yeah,
but they gave him kind of a dark emo sort of vibe. Like he looked like an evil Ewok, which is fun because we haven't seen a bad Ewok.
No,
like it's always non-Ewok villains. He had like red.
What, aren't they supposed to be super rare? I mean, wasn't that the whole thing of Asha? Wasn't she like a red? Yeah, like.
Well, he wasn't red though, but he had like red patches or like a red stripe.
Okay, yeah.
He wasn't like solid red, but I liked his look. I thought, I thought it was interesting, and I liked having a little bit of conflict like within the Ewoks. It's not just like a new, outside force coming in. It was like actually a very
it was another Ewok.
Ewok cool.
Yeah, he wanted to conquer Endor.
Yeah.
So like he had, I guess, I would assume at this point he's built up enough strength or connection with the Force or magic. Let's just say magic.
Yeah, magic. Magic.
Well, we have to assume here, right, that it is the Force, because he's evil, so he doesn't get his power, his magic power, from like the soul trees or the forest spirits, right? I mean, I guess we do know that Endor does have an evil aspect, evil side to it, right? That's kind of been brought up before.
Yeah, we've kind of toyed with that in the past. And his little, like the portal thing he opens up also seems like it's just sort of like a channel into the dark side or whatever.
Yeah, right? Yeah, totally.
It's spooky, whatever it is. I kind of liked how things came back together. Like, Tebow was trying to do, like, he was demonstrating like the low level magic he could do with the flying leaves, and I was like, is the Leaf Queen coming back? But no, she can't come back until Crystal is here.
Yeah,
but I liked that we had the setup of the leaves and then the payoff with the leaves being the thing that kind of saved the day.
Yeah, and he tried to do one of them, but did all of them. Like he was able to. Yeah. That's why I wrote that in there. That like he was able to conjure up enough concentration, and because Logray was like, you're just, you're not concentrating, and blah blah. Like he just couldn't control it, but he was able to at the right moment control it. Not one, but basically that whole plant just lost all of its leaves, and they all went
pretty
flying.
Much. It's leafless.
Yeah.
Do you remember? It's so funny, like, to watch season 2 and think about. Remember when they had like their whole world is reliant on like the soul trees out there? They had to go out like none of that kind of like super mystical stuff is going down anymore. But
I know. Well, we need to do this thing. And it's a really long journey, and it's got to be done today. Yeah. We haven't been making this journey for a week now. It needs to be done today, and we forgot. And it needs to be done by 6 p.m. Or the planet will die.
Last time I said I felt like it was a pretty good use of the 11 minutes, and you said you wanted a little more so the villain could kind of be. But I felt like this one actually gave us everything that we wanted.
This one was perfect. Yeah. I think.
Would you say
everything? Yeah.
I really like that one that Michael Reeves wrote a while back, but this is maybe the best of season 2. It's up there.
I think so. I like this. I like this one a lot because there was that one little scene where you kind of assume that he wants to just defeat Tebow, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm gonna make him my apprentice, and it's just like, oh, okay, very
right.
And that's when I was just like, oh, how incredibly Star Warsy of
It
him
is.
to turn him instead of kill him, right?
Yeah,
or defeat him.
It's very light side, dark side, because Tebow is getting frustrated that he's having to do low level things, and Zarek is like,
and he's enticed. He's
right.
enticed by it,
Yes,
just
he
like
is.
Anakin, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's like,
yes,
ooh, you know,
because Zarek's whole point was like, he'll only let me do low level magic. I'm going to teach you the big stuff, and Tebow's kind of like, let's roll the dice, baby.
Yeah, and it's that scene where he's like, all right, now you know, he like lifts up that massive boulder and throws it. And he's like, all right, now your turn. And he like lifts up the rock and then fails to.
Yeah.
Oh, he tosses it straight up and all the rocks fall on him. And like Zarek's just like, whatever, man. I'm just gonna kill him. You know, like how that's when you're like, oh, okay, he's really evil.
Yeah.
Like, he really is. I just thought, oh, really, he's kind of nice that he instead of killing him, he wants to turn him. But no. Okay, now he's
a bad
like,
guy.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Yeah,
he's a bad guy. Yep, no good.
Oh,
what was your Oak of Arc moment? What's a moment that you were not a fan of?
I think the cart scene was just a little bit too much.
Yeah.
You know, in the fact that like, here we go. We're careening into Logray's hut.
Yeah.
Like it's always Logray needs to move, man, because he's got that giant tomato thing that like rolled into his hut or something.
Not a great situation.
Wasn't that something?
Yeah, that
like,
happened.
Now
earlier.
He's got a cart. Yep. Like he's just he's not good, man. It's like he's like at the bottom of a water slide at that place. The architecture's terrible.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was just like, all right, I get it. She's not waking up. We already know she's in a spell. Like the only person who doesn't know that is Logray, and then he's gonna know it when he sees her.
Yeah.
So it was just, that was like for the kids, I think, because the whole episode was pretty serious. I think, except for that part. That was like the only slapstick.
Yeah.
Symbol crashing aspect.
Okay.
I couldn't really complain. What about you? What was your thing?
I sort of feel the same way. Like there was nothing that I was really like, oh, that's a stupid moment. But I think the thing that bothers me is that Zarek seems like he's just going to be a one and done. He has sort of an impersonal end that he falls into that pit thing at the end, and it's like, oh, what happens to him? But I kind of wish he was set up as a new antagonist. So like, give us all this backstory and then just be like, that's it. You're never going to see him again. We're never going to talk about him again. I feel like that's to me an Oak of Arc moment, because this would have been this could have been a new like menace that would pop up, like the Dulocs,
Oh yeah, and it would have been an opportunity for us to like, I mean, even now just thinking of like, they could have had multiple episodes where like, they develop his character of like, well, I turned out this way because of you, Logray, you did this, and you rescued me as a baby and never told me about my parents, and that's why I became evil. And like, so like, there's a moment where you're like, oh, he's bad, and then you're like, oh, I actually feel bad for him, and then he's bad. Like it's just like how characters. I don't know.
Yeah,
that would have been really fun to develop that character.
And even just on a goofier side, it would have had to do a fun episode where like he teams up with the Dulocs. Like that would have been fun. Yeah. So I don't know. So that was mine. I wish that we saw him more. What is your Ichiwawa moment?
I think the I don't know. I guess I had to. I like the kind of Vader or the Palpatine Vader type deal going on. That relationship of like, oh, let me show you some magic, and oh, I like it. Oh, I want to join you, and So I thought that was really cool. But I think I just got reminded of the prophecy pool. How when there's that one scene when he's like, man, are you serious? Like he walks over to the prophecy pool and was like actually talking to it and being like, are you joking? And it like squirts at him, like splashes him in the face. Like I thought that was okay. I thought that was really funny,
Yeah. It's fun. It's a good episode. It's fun. Yeah, that's a solid choice.
What about you?
I know it's cliche. I know I've gone to this pool so many times. But the glider.
Oh, okay.
Like the fact that he had this cool, like, sort of dragon glider that he could, like, call. I don't know. It was really cool.
And it floated over.
I liked it because we've already kind of established Ewoks have gliders. Ewok and gliders go hand in hand. But he had, like, a cool, evil, magic glider to go with this whole, like, emo Ewok outlook. And I thought that was very cool.
His cape. He had a cape,
Yeah, the cape. He was looking great. Yeah.
That glider was cool. And then the thing,
it was.
The thing, like, folds down in front of him, and
goes
he
like
puts his
over.
arm.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
very
oh
cool.
yeah, like the dude's so good at magic or the Force, right? That it just, he's like, he's he's no outer monologuing. What do they call that when you just talk out loud to yourself? Is that like a soliloquy?
Yeah,
or
just
something?
monologuing.
He's just monologuing out loud.
Just
to
doing a
himself
villain monologue.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so good.
Pretty obvious moral here, like the lesson of the story.
I think, it was patience. It was obviously learning, baby steps.
You got to walk before you can run, little Ewoks.
Yep. I mean,
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is too, like the tricks that he told him about were like lifting rocks, big rocks, and fire. Meanwhile, like the dude flew there on like a glider without wind. Like, dude, that's a big trick. That's the trick you need to get. Like I'm an Ewok. I can make fire and make this. Like I'm pretty I have some good ingenuity. Like but like you flew here without any wind. Like
there
that's so.
See, that's the outdoor rec major in you coming out right now.
Yeah.
Where you're
fire,
like, you need it.
I can
have
fire,
to have it.
like.
Yeah. How many yub nubs? How many yub nubs do you have for the first Apprentice?
I mean, I don't know. What did I give the last one that I thought it was 4.5?
You gave it higher than me. I think you gave it a straight up 4.
Did I do 4? 5. This one was like 4.5 or 4.75. Like I got to get close to like that was really good. Like I'm going to remember this episode, I think, because it was just fun and it was good, and I mean not as memorable as Larry. But like this was a good episode, I think, all around. Well, and it felt Star Wars.
It is a good 1-2 punch when you consider this with Gone with the Mimps. It's a pretty solid episode.
This was this was the best full on. What is it? Season 2, episode 6, right? 6A and B.
I think so.
Yeah, they're not gonna. I just don't think they're gonna do better than this. I gotta be
honest. I loved that Michael Reeves, like the full episode,
that one was
full
good.
25 minutes that Michael Reeves wrote, and he's got another one coming up, so we'll see how it goes. But
was that the Rach? Was that one?
The Rach, really the Rach,
that one was so good. Yeah,
I think I could say, based on what we've seen so far, and especially based on the rubric set forth by season 2, that I could say this is a 5-star Ewoks episode.
Okay, yeah, considering like if you're incorporating both of them. Yeah,
and I think that like if somebody was like, because every time we've had a friend on this, it seems like it's the worst possible episode, and they're like, I've never seen Ewoks before. We make them watch a terrible episode, and they're like, why'd you do this to me?
Hillary was lucky.
I think this. I know, she lucked out last time. Not so much with the 3 wishes. No. I think this episode, if I had to choose an episode to give somebody, I might go here because it feels like what an Ewoks cartoon, what you might want out of an Ewoks cartoon.
Yeah, and it mirrors Star Wars. It just,
exactly,
I think this one was
for
like,
all those reasons.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we always talk about like, why didn't they do anything with Star Wars? And it's probably true that they weren't allowed to, right? They had like, you can have the Ewoks and call them Ewoks, and they can look and feel like Ewoks from the Return of the Jedi, but you can't have any rights to Star Wars.
I just don't see why that would be. That doesn't make any sense to me at that point because there was no plans.
Though, like it's
maybe,
but it is also a Lucasfilm, isn't it? Doesn't say that.
Right, it is. Yeah,
LucasArts or Lucasfilm.
It does.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, but that's rights though. Even though it's Lucasfilms, they still need to pay for it, right? And so
on the moon of Endor, and we're having fun, friends. That's so funny.
George Lucas. I wonder if he was like, never. That's why he's like so tight on the reins with Star Wars.
I bet George Lucas has never seen a frame of this show.
I bet you he has. That's why he's like, nope, never. That's why he never did anything for years.
Oh,
right.
This is just totally off the wall. I was in a comic book store the other day, and you know how they have the little golden books, and now they're doing more and more. Like there's all sorts of Star Trek ones and Star Wars ones. There's now a little golden book version of the Faithful Wookiee, which we did an episode on a while back.
No way.
It was really cool. It was like sealed, but I want to check it out from the library or something because it looked really cool.
Oh, no way.
But so now some things are. I know. Yeah, they're great.
I'm a princess and I'm a Jedi. They have those ones too, and
they have those for Star Trek as well. With like I am Kirk, I am Spock. They have those. They have one on the Tribble episode. They're super fun. But anyway, off topic.
Yeah.
All that to say, I feel like as far as Ewok goes, was a good episode, and this was the episode that I would probably show somebody who's never seen the series before.
6 episodes, right? Weren't we thinking at the very beginning, like, man, how long is it going to take for them to kind of like control themselves? 6 episodes.
Yeah, it's been a couple in a row that we've been like, okay about. Next time, Steve, we're going to be pushing right up to Halloween, and that means we got to have the Queen of Halloween back.
Oh yeah.
So in our next episode, it's going to be a Beyond episode. Sally Jacoby Murphy's going to be here, and we're going to be looking at the spooky Ewok comic, The Night of the Gorax. This is collected in the Tales of Vader's Castle. There's a a collection of this. And we're going to be going through that issue. So if you've never read it before, we'll take you through it step by step. And it looks good. The art looks good. It looks creepy. I'm looking forward to see what Sally's got to say about it.
Yeah, the Gorax. That's the. Is that a nod back to Caravan of Courage? Is that giant? Right.
Oh, I bet
giant
you're right.
That captures the what's his name? I never call it Reese. No.
Oh yeah, Mace.
What did I call him? Sam.
You called him Sam for the entire episode. Yeah, Night of the Gorax is like a flashback story to when Logray and Chief Chirpa were young, like Wicket age. So before Logray is like the shaman, and before Chief Chirpa is the chief. And it looks sort of like a zombie-esque tale. So that's what we're going to be talking about for our Halloween episode.
Oh man, I can't wait.
All right, until we meet again, Steve. See you later.
Yeah. Have a good one. This Endorian Life was brought to you by the Radio Meanwhile Network. Other shows on the network include 90s Music Got Me Like, previously on X-Men, and 9021 Here We Go. Share your thoughts on this and upcoming episodes by following us on Facebook or Twitter at Endorian Life, and please rate, subscribe, and share the show wherever you get your podcasts.
Fun fact, I was in the last episode of Previously on X-Men. I talked with Eric about the episodes Long Shot and Cold Comfort. So it was a good time. Good time. Yeah, so you can go listen to that. Previously on X-Men, wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you get them. Podbean.
That's right.
Podcast.
All right, now I'm really leaving.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Right. So long.